Okay, what's going on, everybody? So, as you might have heard or probably heard already, the Chinese developed this AI company, DeepSeek, and apparently they're saying it uses less processors and less power than our ChatGPT does, which remains to be seen. It's China, they lie. We probably lie too, but they definitely lie. Anyways, yeah, I'm still bullish overall. And if we take a quick look at the S&P map, like look at what is red. The microchips, semiconductors were red, and also the nuclear energy stocks, and a couple of the bigger tech names because they're also invested in these nuclear companies. So they kind of got some friendly fire on that end. That's what pulled them down as well. AI just in general took a hit. And yeah, nuclear stocks. I'm still bullish overall. Look at all this green. Like, all that's telling me is that money is rotating into other sectors, which is still bullish. Like, it seemed like it was a bad day if you were in this select area. Otherwise, and that's just been the most bullish sector for the longest time. So everyone's focused on those names, and that's why it got hit so hard. So I mean, Apple had a 3% day. It has been the weakest, but it's that, yeah, exactly. The weaker names are now seeing their rise. So consumer defensive, healthcare, and financials, everything else has been going. It's just money rotating in all the sectors, but it's not leaving the market, but it's just rotating into other areas. Some left the market, but because the sectors were all down, but we did bounce for the rest of the day. So now it's up to the bulls essentially to defend the lows of today. We did close rather well on the S&P. We closed above the daily 12 exponential moving average, so that is a great sign, a big long lower wick. We flushed the 50 moving average, so that could have, it's up to the bulls to defend this level, but it is a good defense so far. We got punched in the face from the bears. Now we'll see what the bulls can do. It's up to them now to defend the lows. So NASDAQ, a little bit weaker than the S&P. Obviously, the semiconductors are holding this down, and that is why. So we dipped. We defended the low of last week, and we closed approximately at the 50 moving average, and also at this back downtrend line from, we're back testing there. We held that essentially. Was quite a bit of a flush down, but that is a hold, I would call it, of that. So yeah, I'm taking semiconductors off my list. That being said, I did make a trade. I go against what I said, just like do as I say, not as I do, but there's more to the trade than just what I said, and I'll tell you why after. So the Dow Industrial Average is making its all-time high run now. It was the strongest out of all the names. It was the only one that was green out of all the. It closed green, whereas the S&P did not. The NASDAQ did not. I didn't see if the Russell did. No, the Russell was red. So that is where I'm focusing my attention for the next few days. Obviously, we'll see. It's just a headline news. There's going to be we're going to have to see what comes. There might be a headline overnight. We'll see if anything goes on, but there's just headline risk, further downside risk with the semiconductors. They hit all my alerts. Like, that's another thing. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning and I had 30 alerts at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that is a red flag right there. If you wake up doing my system with what I do, if I wake up and there's 30 alerts, that is telling me that there's something going on and it's a caution day. Everything was pulling back at the start. Everything was down. And when everything is down together, that's a red flag right there. It's a caution. Maybe I shouldn't trade today, or maybe I shouldn't be looking bullish that day. That is a great tool if all sectors are at the lows together. which they were in the morning, but some, obviously the industrial sector stood out, and I noticed in the morning that the Dow was only down a little bit, whereas semiconductors were down 8%, and NASDAQ was down 3.5% or something like that. But it's all pieces to the puzzle, and that's what had me cautious on the day. And I'm like, we'll see how this day ends, and I'll make a new list for tomorrow, and it might be totally different than it was the day before. And that is surely the case of what happened today. So yeah, the Russell still pretty weak. We're seeing more downside. We didn't see enough of a retracement. I think we might have seen a 50% retracement here. So the more likely scenario is to see a higher low here. Hopefully we don't have to come back test the 200 moving average here. But obviously the Russell is the weakest of all the big ETFs. So NVIDIA, why did I take this trade? I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. Why I did that is because it was a straight shot down, and I'm making a play off the 200 moving average. I'm also buying April calls, and so I've got a couple months for them to play out. And yeah, coupled with the 200 moving average, the 4-hour oversold, which we did get a 4-hour bounce at the end after hours. I'm essentially waiting to see where this 4-hour bounce goes, and hopefully I can get risk-free in that time. That is and if we top out and we start heading down, that'll be my red flag to maybe I have to pull this trade. But it is counter trend what I'm doing, especially on headline news. Not highly recommended, but it's just a lot going. I would only play this with NVIDIA because it is the strongest name overall in the sector. Everything else is off my list, and I'm not touching it. I did it for the strongest name in the sector at its 200 moving average. It was a straight shot down. So I just figured I would see a bounce, enough of a bounce to get into a risk-free 2-month out position. Oops. Okay, so OKLO. Here's a good example of one of the nuclear stocks that I was in, but it absolutely crashed now. And the reason why this energy stock crashed more than the others is this is unprofitable. This is a pre-profit, like they're not making any earnings. This is highly speculative, and it's a complete hype sector right now. We did close above the daily 80 MA, so basically we want to see the bulls hold this level. I was hoping we would just back test this previous all-time high. It didn't happen. I also wasn't interested in this name just for the simple fact that it is a speculative name. And if the Chinese are truly telling the truth about their chips or their AI not needing as much microchips to run, then that could be big trouble for OKLO's run overall. So yeah, that was all from yesterday's names. I've moved on now to financial names and some Meta, Spotify, Walmart, RDW, not sure what that does, Amazon, and Visa. Those are the names I'm interested in. They are the names that are hitting all-time highs, and I'm just waiting for either 5, 15, 4-hour oversold. So BSX looking like it's trying to possibly making an earnings run here. The harder it runs up on earnings, the more caution that we will have a negative reaction to earnings. But we are currently overbought on 4-hour and the daily. Hourly cooled off. No, heading towards overboughts on the hourly. So I'd be looking for a 15-minute oversold possible entry or hourly oversold. Meta. I knew Meta was strong right off the bat, compared relatively bullish engulfing candle. Right until new all-time highs, looking great. Obviously, earnings is gonna play a drastic effect, but Meta just constantly kills its earnings and goes on more runs. So we might see more upside to this, but then we've got so many earnings coming up this week that the tech sector, it's going to end. FOMC. There's a lot of headline news, a lot of earnings risks and everything. So, like I said, it's on the list. I probably wouldn't play Meta myself on a. I would probably play a 15-minute pullback if anything, but you do have this overhang. Spotify. So its earning is a little bit 8 days out. Once again, a bullish engulfing candle, very strong candle to have. A little bit of profit taking at the end of the day. Overbought, approaching overbought on the daily. 4 hour cooled off a little bit. Hourly still has room. So Spotify has a little bit more time to play out. I might put this on my watch actually. I do put alerts for all 5 or 15-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour oversold for every time we hit a new all-time high. Walmart doesn't have earnings overhang. Closing at the high. Probably see a gap up open tomorrow. Looking good. Big hammer candle. Yep, Walmart's looking good. Have it on your top watch. It's getting overbought again. So we might see a pullback here in the near future. Overbought on the 4 hour, daily, 1 hour. Okay, so we're getting pretty damn overbought. But we're also blue sky, so things can get more extended than they would normally. So that's what's great about blue sky breakouts. RDW, not sure what they do. Had a big, that's quite a big upper wick of profit taking. So caution on this name. It did hit a new all-time high, but that type of profit taking. Let's see if... almost looks like we're looking at a 4 hour bearish diamond possibly forming. We're getting higher highs with no follow through, lower lows with no follow through. So I'm kind of looking at this like it's a 4 hour bearish diamond reversal. So that could be setting up a longer term top here. It's that's how they like to get you. And Amazon, the last name that I'm looking at, big flush down, coming back right in, oh geez, almost a bullish Marubozu candle, but still strong. What was I looking at? Oh, I was looking at this as like kind of a rising wedge, which blew down. 15-minute oversold, did hourly. Oh, hourly oversold, or yeah, hourly oversold marked its daily higher low, and it absolutely bull ran into the entire day. Yeah, so generally when you hit hourly oversold, that you want that to mark the daily higher low, which it looks like it did. It closed that gap there. We're looking good on Amazon too. Another name on top watch, but we do have earnings coming up next week, next Thursday. So I'm still bullish overall. Lots of good names out there, hitting all-time highs. We're looking good. There's a little bit of headline risk in one sector, or two sectors, I guess, the energy. But overall, we're looking good. So I'll have another video for you update tomorrow. We'll see how things play out.